I had done a longer video, 3 longer videos yesterday, which I guess um, somebody didn't think the world was ready for, or it's just too much information. But while we're on the topic of immortality and magic, I couldn't very well make a video about immortality and magic without showing my magic square. I mean, this is controversial to some, or was, supposedly, maybe. I'm very skeptical about the nature of reality for reasons. Jonathan George interviewed Dan Brown's The Lost Symbol Inspiration. During the interview, we will discuss Jonathan's journey into sacred knowledge, how Jonathan came to inspire the Da Vinci Code and the Lost Symbol, unveiling of the Magic Square, copyrighted 2009. That's the official copyright, but I created it in the late 90s, used it as an album cover, 2003, I think. So this interview was done October 8th, 2013 at 10:30 p.m., I guess. And that was the unveiling of my magic square. So you can compare that magic square, Thoth heart. Tau is Tao. So it's the word Thoth 4 times, heart 4 times, and Tao, or Tao, 4 times, which means the way. So that was like 22 years ago, maybe, that I realized that in my past life I'd been Thoth, or Hermes Trismegistus, and Ninguzita as well. But this is the most famous magic square, and it's got something going on. I'm not negating it. It's actually kind of interesting the way it's popped up at various times in my research. What magic is, and what life is, what energy is, the dangers of manipulating life, manipulating energy, the types of magic, from the beautiful, life-giving goddess and green magic and white magic to and I guess that's one thing I captured well in my squares, the duality and the recognition that in order to survive at all, however well I'm surviving is debatable. Where I survive is debatable. It's unfortunate, looking back, when this was done professionally by my artist friend to my specifications, exactly to my specifications, that the outline of the only place it's not symmetrical is along the inner border, directly outside of the words. And that's where there's a little more darkness than light, because I did know, whether I was right or wrong, I don't know. But I knew in order to live, to survive, that I personally would have to be a little more on the dark side than on the light side. And I called myself the darkness of the balance. But nonetheless, an essential piece of the balance. All duality, all opposites. A lot of them are very, very old, like in Chinese medicine. They wouldn't even be called duality as much as there would be like four corners, the four elements, the fifth element, the sixth element. The Yale Emperor's book on medicine was pretty good. I read part of it in school. So for me, it's only a few days away from. It's 3 days now away from the beginning of a chapter of my life, which I guess was purely loving and sexual at the same time, and has, for me at least, been beautiful and confusing and painful and awesome, and led me recently to the conclusion that it wasn't that the world was better off without me necessarily. It's just that I have so many ideas I've been sharing privately and with the one I call the goddess, and I believe what I say, and I can be sarcastic and rude, and I'm not proud of that at all. I get tired of false humility, and but now I look back, right? I look back on 2018 and those UFOs and the earthquake and the circumstances around the earthquake and the photographs I took that day. And I'm like, that's really strange. That's Stranger Things level strangeness. And I met a guy once, and I think he was, I don't know, maybe on acid, maybe a bit off his rocker, maybe he wasn't a very good person. I don't know. One of those is true. But he said out of nowhere to me, seemed out of nowhere to me anyway, when you look into the abyss, the abyss looks back into you. And I've been looking back in time, mainly through research and a lot of visions, which are more often than not reveal themselves to be true or reflected back to me from the world pretty quickly, which I guess is manifestation. And that's really strange when that starts happening, because things can get, like when you look into magic looks into you. When you look into the goddess looks into you. When you look into all the names of the old names for deities and angels and where the good guys became the bad guys, or a god became feminine or masculine. When you look at all that looks at you. When you look at the difficult topics of the world, they look at you too. And I looked at all of them. I believe I'm still looking. I'm still learning. I've said it before many times, and I'll say it again. And I think it's more my fault than anyone else's. I don't know if it's even a fault then. But I did not personally feel loved until I believe the date was April 27th. That's what she told me. I believe if nothing else, she would know the date. And I've been hanging out with a friend for a while, and he suggested I ask extraterrestrials or angels or whoever